AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Woj has announced his retirement from, I guess, investigative journalism.
The feds of journalism. Woj was the feds of the sports world. Wow. Remember, they said the feds has a 90-something% conviction rate. Woj, when his news come out, it's 98.99999%. It's official.
This is Woj's statement from as he announces his retirement from the ESPN sports journalism game. I grew up the son of a factory worker 2 miles from ESPN's campus and only ever dreamed of making a living as a sports writer. 37 years ago, the Hartford Courant gave me my first byline, and I never stopped chasing the thrill of it. The craft transformed my life, but I've decided to retire from the ESPN and the news industry. I understand the commitment and required in my role, and it's an investment that I'm no longer driven to make. Time isn't an endless supply, and I want to spend mine in ways that are more personally meaningful. I leave with overwhelming gratitude for countless mentors and colleagues, subjects and stories, readers and viewers. No one has benefited more than me from the belief, trust, and generosity of others. The past 7 years at ESPN have been a particular privilege. I'm appreciative of the company's leadership, especially Jimmy Pitaro and Christina Douglas, for understanding and acceptance of my decision to make a life change. After all these years reporting on everyone's teams, I'm heading back to my own.
How old is Woj? Look, 55. Woj is not even that old. But this is when you know you're great at your job, because I could swear Woj was with ESPN longer than 7 years. Robert Paulson makes a great point. Michael Jordan, Bill Belichick, both are considered the GOAT at their position. Some people consider Bill Belichick the greatest coach ever. A lot of people consider Michael Jordan the greatest coach ever. Have you ever seen them pick talent? You see the talent they pick?
Right. And we're talking about the defensive genius schemer and
some of the greatest minds in sports in their field
for decades.
Do you see the talent they pick for their teams, for their organizations? When it comes to his job and what he did, there's nobody close. He's up here, then everybody else starts down here. Then you can start naming guys. And Woj took pride into that. The players and the coaches and the people that gave him the information took pride into that, because Woj was straight business. And he's going to break it down, give you the details, and he always did it in a classy way. He was serious. He wasn't joking about it. Straight business, and then he's off. So listen, man, ESPN, breaking news world, NBA, I'm going to miss Woj, bro. I'm going to be honest with you, because I know his information is correct. Think about how many times we get stuff and we be like, hold on. We got to see first. You ain't got to worry about that with Woj. Woj ain't putting up nothing fake. He ain't giving you no false information. And like I said, Woj was the guy that everybody trusted with the information. You let Woj know it, he ain't going to put it out there unless you told him to put it out there. He ain't doing what everybody else doing. So, yeah, man, the basketball world going to miss Woj, man. This is a tough one.
Just to read off some more accolades as we are pom-pomming Woj out here. Somebody listed some of his basketball forever. Shout out to them because they got some stuff on Instagram. They be doing their thing. I said Woj, 34 seasons, 17 NBA drafts, 47,000 tweets, 1,068 certified Woj bombs, most followed NBA reporter ever, 305 million tweet likes, 2-time columnist of the year, Tony Kubek Award for Media Excellence, National Polish American Hall of Fame, New York Times bestseller. They got Woj.
Come on.
The NBA newsbreaker, leaving the sports media giant halfway through an estimated 5-year, $35 million contract to become the GM of the men's basketball program at St. Bonaventure, his alma mater. To the uninitiated, this might seem like a deeply odd move, especially to Wojnarowski's stunned colleagues back at ESPN. Why leave millions for a Division I athletics program located in a remote part of Western New York, and one still figuring out how to compete in a fundamentally changed and more financially driven sports world? But Woj has deeply entrenched has been deeply entrenched with the school, and particularly its basketball program. In the 3+ decades since graduating, he's been a major benefactor to St. Bonaventure. Was the school's commencement speaker in 2022, as a regular sounding board for men's basketball coach Mark Schmidt, and most recently he's played a leading role in forming the building the Bonnies NIL. The Bonnies also enjoy one of the most committed alumni groups of any school in the country. I remember him on ESPN last year when they would talk about the high school coaches. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the first one to come out on screen and be like, yo, all these NIL deals, all the big schools, that's great. But there's nothing wrong with finding your local high school coaches and go working out with them. Maybe Woj put his money where his mouth is.
And go to an academy or go to one of these prep basketball factories. There are so many great public high school coaches in this country, and players have migrated away from them. And just because you are on a big campus somewhere and someone's paying that coach a lot of money and you get to travel around the country, it doesn't mean you're playing for a better coach. And that's true in every corner of this nation.
What scares me about what Woj is saying is that I know of so many black kids that are listening to folks guide them to the very schools Woj just said you don't necessarily need to go to, pulling them and trying to peel them away from the public institutions. Because, you know, in other words, you can be impressionable. You got somebody that coming to you, they've got a reputable name or what have you. Come to this place, leave this city. We'll finance you. You're thinking about something that's going to elevate you to a point where you get yourself in a better position. And what Woj is saying is very important, because those might not be the people you need to listen to, but you don't know any better. You don't know any better when you don't have the right exposure.
Stephen A. stepping on his shine, man.
That was crazy.
What he just did was leave money. He left the same people you were trying to run with ESPN. He left them bag of money to go do exactly what he said he did in that video. Why don't we pay more attention to the public? I don't know if St. Bonaventure is a public school, but it's a high school or whatever alma mater it is. We don't talk about them. They're not in the AAU. They're not in the ACC. They're not in the Big Ten. They're not, you know. I think this speaks to that, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. And come on, man. If he left halfway through $35 million 5 years, that's what, $7 a year. So he left around.
He left, yeah, $7 a year.
So about like around $14 million he left on the table. More if it's halfway.
Can I ask you a question? Is it possible for Woj to still get the inside scoop, and you think he's going to have a YouTube page and continue with his Instagram page as far as breaking news? Is that possible?
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.